You know what this podcast is, Kobe?
What is it?
It's just two guys just porking around. It's a quote from a movie, guys. Don't mistake it for anything else. Oh
The
man.
demographic of our podcast has now totally changed. It's a new algorithm.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry,
This is Colby.
and this is Who Watches This. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the fifth annual Spook-Tober month.
Right?
And I almost forgot. I was like, oh my god, we don't have video. Like usually, like the beginning, like prior to October, we already do the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, we're kind of.
Yeah, so today we're on a like a network kind of schedule. But yeah, this is my month, but I feel like, well, I kind of want to have a theme going for this. I don't know if you mind me like helming like October and you can get December.
Sure. No, we can go with that.
But I gotta say, like I was like looking at the Tubi catalog. And it's kind of like nostalgic of like a VHS store. I was like, dude, there's so many movies I haven't seen and it's on here. Which is crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah.
So before we actually go ahead into our very short trailer for this week of Mr. Movie Phone, Kobe, I gotta ask you, before really even just spoiling anything of this movie, were you a big was it like a haunted house guy? Haunted attraction guy?
I've gone to a few, and I've done the Universal Studios at Halloween or in October, so you can get the Halloween haunted house things.
Yeah.
I know a couple years in a row we went and did in Vegas. They used to have an MGM theme park, which was our mini Disneyland that was connected to the MGM resorts.
Yeah.
It's gone now, but it was pretty cool. They did a lot of Halloween Spooktober or whatever they called it.
See, like me.
So not
yeah.
a ton, but yeah, definitely some.
See me, I'm as much as I love horror films. Like, I've never been like, oh, let's go ghost hunting tonight, or let's break into this abandoned home. And I'm not great. Like, I used to live in California. I used to live right next to Knott's Berry Farm. They used to do like Knott's Scary Farm, and it would just be like one big haunted house attraction,
Right. Yep.
type of deal. And I just have never been good at them, just because I will punch somebody in the face to try to jump scare me.
Yes. Yeah. And there's those the jump scare.
Yeah, and so like, in order to not put myself in a situation where like, one, I feel bad for this person that's just doing their job, and to get like 86th from a theme park, I'm not gonna go. I like my scares on a television when I'm on my couch.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, even like here, like, they used to do the Adventure Dome, the Horror Dome, or whatever it was called before that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
my friends were like, oh, what's up, we're gonna go? I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I'm gonna go eat some tacos. And, I think it's safe to say we both equally had a good night.
Yeah. I had never done any of those ones where like you gotta sign a waiver because it's so scary you might have a heart attack. That's a little too much. I don't want anything where they're gonna touch me.
Yeah. Oh, like that dick.
Because, like you said, I don't want to react. I don't mind so much jumping,
Yeah.
but I don't want to like have a visceral reaction where I'm swinging on some poor high school
All right. Some
girl who's like in a clown mask.
right, and like especially like that dickwad from like what is it, McKinley Manor or whatever. The
Yeah.
guy who's like, "Oh, you can never finish this. If you do, you get like what, like 10 grand."
Oh, right.
But
Something.
yeah, but then he like pretty much like tortures, like actually tortures people. Like I think like a Navy SEAL went in there. He was gonna finish it, and then like he forced them to get out. He's like, "Get out of here! You broke the rules or whatever, some bullshit." But
Yeah. Yeah.
and so like this week, I was like, "Oh, let me choose one that's kind of like I don't think we've never seen."
Yeah. I have not even heard of this.
Exactly. Came out in 2020. Oh no, hold on, Mr. Movie Phone right here. This Halloween, when a house filled with fake bodies gets filled up with real ones. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Okay.
We're
yeah.
going to be talking about 2024's haunt season. I was like, that really doesn't. It's less of a trailer and more of like a movie poster, like tagline.
Right. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. It works.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about like a very indie film, film from 2024 called Haunt Season. God, I don't really know what to say about this movie to pad a little bit. It's like a tight hour 25, I believe. But honestly, like for a group of, like it seems like a really small production. I think they did like it was kind of like Sam Raimi-ish.
Yeah.
They did what they could with the budget that they had, and they told a pretty decent story, right?
Yeah. I did. I like you for an indie film for like a low budget.
Yeah,
You got to know and enjoy all the characters.
yeah.
Like where
But,
where lots of, where sometimes you just like, it wasn't just like indie slasher where it's just like let's just kill everybody.
exactly. You're like you're just like, oh, let's see what the next kill that they're gonna do is.
Right. There was actually some story to this.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into this. This movie kind of starts like a classic like 70s 80s horror film. We get a kill in the first 3 minutes, and it's like spliced in between the credit sequence, which I was like, okay, I'm kind of digging this. I was like, it's kind of like a throwback to like just old grindhouse horror film, right? It's like a bunch of people working in a what is it, like the realm of terror haunted house attraction,
Yep.
in which I believe is suburban Chicago. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because she was talking about Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like they're what's it called? And we kind of follow this girl. She is the scalped girl in the attraction. And everyone's like, they're doing their thing, they're having fun, but then they start like, they start to wind down the night. And what's this, scalp girl, she's like, she gets a text message from Jace, the planeswalker. And he's like, "What's up, baby? Come get this sausage or whatever." And so she shows up, she's like, "I'll meet you back at the haunted house." Because then, like, there's some people out there that, like, want to fuck at work.
I feel like the haunted house, like, let's do it on a pile of fake dead bodies. That's not. You gotta have exceptional boobs for me to not focus on the dead bodies.
Oh, she's like, "And I have some cheese whiz that you could lick off my tits."
Okay, maybe.
And you just got to know your audience, And so she gets there, and she's like, "Where the fuck is Jace?" But then as soon as she hits like the hallway, she sees somebody like behind like the what's it called, like the butcher curtains or whatever, the clear curtains that you always see at butcher shops.
Yep.
And she's like, "Jace?" and comes closer, and it's a person in a getup, in a haunted getup thing. And she's like, Bradford, and nope. This dude pulls out like a sickle
Yep.
or something, gets her from like the back, pins her down, and starts to actually scalp this chick. And you're like, holy shit, okay, cool, tight. And then it cuts right to like what's the main character's name? I forgot what her name is. But it cuts to like our main character screaming her head off. Like, good scream.
Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda, really? I think they called her Maddie, right?
Maddie, yeah.
Yeah, Maddie, and like, what's it called? Rosemary, which is like a nice little call, like shout out to like any horror fan out there. And Bradford are like, holy shit, you can scream. She's like, yeah, I have a bachelor's in fine arts for theater, so I'm here. And they're like, cool, because the person that was doing this, like, she kind of bailed on us, and it's kind of weird that you're going to be here only for a couple of days, but if you could fill in for her, that'd be awesome. We'll pay you, and, and you get to have a lot of fun, because over here, we're just a bunch of theater kids that never wanted to grow up. I was like, okay, a little Peter Panish, but whatever.
Right.
Rosemary's like, yeah, I was filling in, but I hate the whole screaming thing. I'd be really tired by the end of the night. And what's it called? Dave, I think his name is. He's like much more of like, yeah, and Bradford doesn't really look great in a bra. So really peak writing. But no, like, she kind of gets like the rundown. She's like, hey, can you fill in tonight? And like Rosemary's like, hey, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really easy for you. Instead of 8 performances a week, you do 40 a night. And so she's like, cool, that's it's whatever. So they get to the backstage of it, and Bradford, who's like the ringleader's like blood, and everyone's like guts. They're like, hey,
yeah, he is definitely. You could tell that this is his baby. He's orchestrated this, and
it's his little like horror troupe for the season.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, this is gonna be Maddie. She's gonna be filling in for Taylor, and like one girl, I think her name is V. She's like, oh, they're looking up with like Mika, who's a little bit more like off on Maddie. She's like, she's just been gone for like a couple of days, and Bradford's like, yo, like if she pops back up, we'll give her something to do, but it's just like Rosemary's tired of screaming her head off.
Right. It's only a few days. It's only a week left to Halloween, but it's in a position that needs to be filled.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, fine, and so like Maddie, she goes to makeup, she's like in a schoolgirl uniform. And she's like, hey, Rose, do you have like some double-sided tape? I'm afraid if I thrash around, the girls will pop out. Yeah, and so like meanwhile, this is kind of like a funny way, or like a good way of kind of introducing all of the characters, because we veer off from Maddie and we start to get introduced to like like the rest of the cast. With like Mika and V, V is like, hey, don't be so mean. It's not her fault. And then we get introduced to like Jace and what's it called, Long John. And he's like, hey, is this your phone?
Tall John.
Oh, Tall John. And he's like, is this your phone? He's like, holy shit, where has it been? It's been gone for like a week. I was like, dude, this guy's been like just chilling without his phone for a week. Oh my gosh. And just say, you get to kind of know this rest of the cast of the characters until we get back to Maddie, and like her and like Rosemary are kind of, they're getting along, because they're both theater geeks,
right? Yep.
And they're like, whoa, it's like so cool because like the wig matches her hair, her natural hair, and they're like, whoa, that's really cool the way that like it looks like I really did get scalped. So it's like a fun cast, and they're like, hey, we're gonna get ready for tonight. You're gonna be with is his name Dave? I think.
Danny.
Oh, Danny. You're gonna be paired up with Danny. He's gonna be really good with you. He'll take care of you. If anything weird happens, just yell out Pervo. I know it's really creative. And they're like, cool. So they start the night, and we get a really cool like There's a couple montages in this movie to pad time, but we get a
Right.
really cool. I'm pretty sure this is actually a real like haunted attraction somewhere in Chicago.
I think it's got to be.
Yeah,
It's set up where it's like a mini golf
yeah, like
um, in
bowling, go
an
karts.
arcade, and then like in the back they have like the seasonal, and
Yeah,
so
like
they
the
have
seasonal lot.
the haunted house, and then they have like a pumpkin patch like maze kind of thing.
Which, like, man, like, even though I'm like, in my 30s, I really like. We used to have that in Vegas, where like, there's like batting cages, go karts, mini golf, and an arcade all in one place.
Right.
And like, they took it away. I was like, oh, it was such a good date night for like, when I was in high school.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man, I'm so mad. Like, and they won't. No one like wants to bring that back. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, probably now it'd be like 50, like it'd be 50 per head to do whatever, like to do bullshit like that. But
Right. Because I guess the cheap easy money back in the day was the arcade, because
mhm.
you could come and with just like $5 and spend an hour there.
Yeah, now it's like that's like 10-15 minutes, and it would be all corped out. Like the arcade would be like a Dave and Buster's or something like that, and then it would be all corporationed out.
Oh, you're right. I guess
Yeah,
like a Dave and Buster's or a Chuck E. Cheese is kind of like what you're
yeah, but it's
what
not
they
Scandia.
converted into.
But it's not
It
Scandia.
wasn't right. No.
Yeah, and so like before like the night actually really gets started though, like before the horror montage, we get introduced to the autopsy body guy,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Where's my heart, ladies? Have you seen it?" And they're like, "No." He's like, "Well, I hope it's in the hands of somebody single and emotionally available," and they're like, "Ha ha, ha, so funny," but. What's it called? The jack o' lantern guy finds it, gives it to him, and marks him with a little bit of ketchup. You're like, what's going on there? But then, like the autopsy guy, he goes out, he goes to the back to take a smoke, and he's not a bad guy. He's like, he sees like what is it, like a freaking model of a dead woman, and he's like, oh, you must be cold, and he like covers like her tits.
Yeah. Puts a jacket over.
Yeah, like it's just like whatever. It's like a funny thing, but nope, he gets got. He gets got by the guy that marked him with the catsup. And you're like, holy shit, this guy just killed this dude. So yeah, the night starts. They go through all the motions. Like Maddie's doing really well. Danny's like, hey, you're fucking killing it. High five, double high five. And so like as the night kind of progresses, it's like a 4 hour event. Everybody's kind of like,
Right. Yeah. Probably eight to midnight kind of thing.
yeah,
Where
and
dark to midnight.
right, and everyone's kind of like, they're getting ready to go to the after party for the cast. Maddie's like, hey, is there like a changing room? And then all of a sudden, the dead cheerleader like just like takes off her top, and she's like, picture everybody. And then like she like takes the photo like doing like the hand bra thing, and then goes up to Maddie. He's like, hey, you don't mind, right? It's like, it's just like, I have an Instagram and everybody loves like the dead horror makeup shit. Yeah, I got 80,000 followers. And she's like, holy shit, that's awesome. She's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And Maddie, like, from the conversations she's had at the start of this, she's kind of like fresh out of college.
Right.
What do I do with a fucking bachelor in fine arts? And let
Yeah.
me,
And she's like half the people like went one direction, the other half of the people went
well, yeah,
to try to become movie stars in LA.
yeah, like she
And
said, the theater kids went to New York, and the screenwriter kids went to L.A.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, she was talking to Danny. She's like, I figured I had like maybe like a year, but here I am, like trying to find a new group of weirdos. And Danny's like,
Right. Yep.
this is a perfect spot. Yeah, and so like everybody's gearing up to,
And then Jace walks out
Oh.
naked.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because then like, whatever her name is, like the dead cheerleader girl's like, oh no, I'm just like a pretty free spirited, but Jace, he's like a full nudist. And he's like, Yeah, look at my dick. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, like so like everybody kind of winds up to go to long or the Tall John's
Yeah, yeah.
house because he houses everybody for like, like the after parties during the season.
Right. He's got like a real house that's close to the.
Yeah. And like what's it called? Bradford kind of gets mad at one of the guy that works at the escape room because he's like, "Come on, bro, it's all about immersion."
Right. You can't be the headless football player and then talk to people.
Yeah, you're supposed to be gurgling or something like that. And he's like, "Man, fuck this place, man." But he's like, "I'm still gonna go to the party though."
Right. Yep.
But like, so like, and then Mika, she gets a text message from Taylor, and she's like, "What the fuck?" So she tries to text it, but it's in the actual like, it's in the back room. And she calls it, and she follows it, and she's like, "Oh, it's just here." Like she asked somebody, like, "Hey, did you see who left this?" And they're like, "Nope." And so like she talks to Bradford. He's like, "Hey, how late are you gonna be here? Because I think Taylor is gonna drop by." Bradford's like, "I'm gonna be here for a while, so like I'll text you if she comes." And so like yeah, they head to Tall John's. Mika rides with Maddie, and V's like trying to kind of mitigate the situation from the hostility that she had gotten from Mika. And Maddie's like a pretty good sport for it all. She's like, oh, "That's cool, don't worry. Like Mika's like my North Star. If she isn't mean, then something's wrong right now." And so, like, yeah, like, they head to the party. Bradford ends up trying to clean up because, he's like fucking haunt actors because they just put everything on the floor.
Right. Yeah, they all change out of their outfits and just dump them.
Yeah. But then Rosemary's there and she's like, "Hey, I'll just stay by. I'll stay behind. I'll get an early start on laundry." Like Bradford's like, "Cool. I'm going to get beer for everybody. It was a good week." And Rosemary's kind of like, "Hey, like, it seems like him and Rosemary go like a really long way back."
Yeah. Kind of, you get that feeling that they've been the two that were like from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably like friends since like forever.
Right, because she mentioned she's like, you remember how I was in college? Sometimes I just got introverted and I wanted to just sit
nachos
in the apartment and eat nachos. Yeah.
I was like, "Is this Kobe's cousin or something?" She's like eating chips with cheese. And Bradford's like, "Come on, it's time to make up for some lost time." And she's like, it seems like she's pretty talented at makeup stuff, so maybe she just kind of wants to move on,
Right.
grow up. And Bradford's like, "All right, well, and you can kind of tell that they fool around a little bit." But yeah, no, he ends up dipping. They end up going to the party. Maddie's kind of making rounds with the rest of the cast members. She talks to like the dead cheerleader who has an OnlyFans. But
Right.
like she's going through like this whole. She talks to Danny, who's like, "I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool that what we're doing it has a little bit of edge, but we're right next, we're right next door to fucking Demon Disney and all that stuff. And like, I mean, it's cool. I think we push the envelope just a little bit, but like Halloween wasn't about this. Halloween back then was about putting friggin' witches on spires and setting them on fire and all that
Right.
stuff."
Yeah.
And Maddie's like,
About blood and death.
yeah, and Maddie's like, "Okay, all right, I'm gonna leave and then go next to the naked hot guy, who's like just as bad." He's like, "I'm taking back the penis," Everyone thinks it's a weapon, and then like it becomes like a whole like little like kind of like a woke conversation because Maddie's like, "Don't you think it's a weapon because it's been used as a weapon for thousands of years?"
Right.
And he's like, "Well, you can stab people with pens." He's like, "Yeah, well, getting stabbed with a pen is different than getting violated by a penis." And he's like, "Well, I'm just exposure therapy." And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna get out of here." And she makes the rounds with it all and kind of like ends up at Bradford, and they have a little conversation where she's like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if I could be the one scalping somebody instead of the other way around?" And Bradford's just like, "Yeah, but like people want what they know. It's like a trope and all that stuff."
Right. We gotta stay with the tradition. It's better to. It sells better to have the
The hot
crazy
chick.
crazy guy scalping the hot chick.
Then vice versa, and Maddie's like, "It's just about sex, isn't it?" And he's like, "Yep, it's about sex. It's really fucked up." Meanwhile, Rosemary back at the haunt gets fucking murdered. And like she had made a comment where she's like, I'm not screaming girl getting scalped type of actor. I'm slit wrists in a bathtub type of actress. And unfortunately, that's what this like serial killer is doing to her. He slits her wrist the long way, the for sure way, you know what I mean?
Right.
And she kind of like she gets pretty far. Like I thought, like at a certain point, she would have like got like lightheaded.
Right. Yeah. But she puts up a fight.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like as like she kind of makes it outside. She like kind of like domes him a couple times with some putters.
Yeah. Yep.
Unfortunately, she gets caught in the little windmill river, and I was like, why is there like a little grinding station there? And
it seemed a little dangerous to not have a cage over it, but
yeah,
it was the station that was turning the windmill.
Yeah, but I will say, like, first of all, this killer, like, after he catches her, he like slumps right next to her, like he's exhausted, and really cool, like little attention to detail. But like the water turns red.
Yes,
I was like, cool, okay. And so, like, we're back at the party. Mika's talking to Bradford and Danny, and she's like, hey, talking about Taylor again. And, Bradford's like, do you want to, like, hey, let's go there together and we can check it out. And she's like, no, she's probably just fucking around, And Bradford's kind of like, come on, I want somebody to go with me to get her. And they're like, no, it's fine. So, like, the night kind of, like, dwindles down.
Right.
We get a couple another like B-roll of like suburban Chicago until we land. Sorry, before that, V and Maddie have like a pretty good like connecting moment that night. And like she's like the only person that kind of Maddie is like, okay, I could probably be friends with you. Because V is like, yeah, we do this for the season, but like this is just my thing. I do this, and then on Christmas I help. I go with a company that she's like a seasonal, like a holiday worker or something. I was like,
yeah, she's like, and then I can set up for Christmas.
Yeah,
and then we do go big on Halloween or Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And so the next morning we find out that we should have found you probably already knew when they got into her car that she had all those clothes in there that she's like living in her car.
Yeah.
And this is like, I feel like, especially for the car she has, this is something you could only do in like your younger, early 20s. Like I can't be 30, I can't be like in my 30s, like sleeping in a Yaris.
It is a small car, that's true. And she makes the comment, maybe it's a little later, she was like, it's not like I'm homeless, but I just, I feel like if I go home, then I failed.
But like as long as she's like, good for her. She's like,
right. Yeah,
I have to put myself in this situation to really drive myself. At least she knows herself, right?
Yeah.
But she says that later after like this night because she gets a text message from V. She's like, escape room at 11. See you there.
Oh, right. And she kind of makes the comment. She's like, escape rooms are expensive. Maybe I'll pass. And they're like, oh, no, Seth works.
Oh, yeah, Seth works at the escape room.
Headless football player works there. So we get their team into the haunted house, and they get our team into the escape room, so it's free.
Yeah, but like last night, Seth did get hit with some ketchup. Yeah. So it's one of the workers.
Yeah.
And so like Seth is like, cool, I'm going to go ahead and set you guys in the what's called the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I think so.
Give me like 5 minutes. And he goes to the back room, checks it, make sure everything's clear, but he sees like somebody in there.
Yeah.
And so like, he goes through the escape room, kind of like presses all the buttons to like unlock everything. And he's like, hey man, sorry, what are you even doing here, dude? You got to get out. Turns around, it's like a skull face guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, holy shit, all right, man. All right, come on, man. Like, get out. And fucking just garden shears his head off. Super. As the girls are now, like...
Which was ironic, because he was the headless football player, and now he
Yeah.
just got beheaded.
I know. I feel like a lot of these people, they're dying just like their haunted counterparts, right?
Yep.
And so, like, yeah, the girls are, like, going through it, going through the whole, like, Temple of Doom thing. And they finally get to that room. And they're like, holy shit, there's a fresh body in here. This is cool. And, like, the OnlyFans girl is telling, like, Maddie's, like, take pictures of me. Unfortunately. Well, like, no, maybe fortunate, whatever. The killer is still in the room.
Right, yeah.
With the garden shears. And, like, what's it called? OnlyFans girl's like, hey, no flash, and he puts it down because he's like, I thought this would have been really cool. I thought it was like setting it up for later, because then like they're going through the photos and she sees like somebody behind the door, and I was like, kind of like they missed that, but no, so like they're able to kind of safely go through the escape room, and they get like discount coupons for the food court, except for the pizza place because they're not playing ball. And so the girls are like they're just eating their food in the hill, and Taylor's been in contact with Mika, and so like Mika's like, all right, I gotta go, and Vi goes with her, or V goes with her, and so Maddie goes with OnlyFans girl, and that's where we get the whole like, I got to do this because if I go back home, bit right,
right, and
so,
then they kind of mentioned they were like. I don't think anything's happened, but we always kind of thought Mika had like Taylor,
yeah.
And that's why she's like so weird that Taylor just disappeared, because she wouldn't understand why Taylor would leave without saying goodbye.
Yeah. They had like the summer thing, right? The summer fling thing. And so like, but like OnlyFans girl's kind of like pressing Maddie. She's like, why don't you want to be an actress? Go to LA. And she's like, oh, but it's like, I'm scared because what if I fail and the thing that I got my degree in doesn't work out? And she's like, dude, just go, we'll go together. I was like, holy shit, you've only known this girl for like collectively 2 days, maybe?
Right?
OnlyFans girl is like, whatever, she can make her money anywhere. That's why.
Right, yeah, she's got the Instagram money coming. She's, hey, LA's a new set of backgrounds for me to take
new
haunts in.
Yeah, new haunts to be an actress in, right? And like, kind of like, honestly, it might be like the most ideal situation for Maddie if she's like really cool with this OnlyFans girl, and she's like, hey, don't worry about rent, I got it. Just, if it was me, I'd be like, just bring me to the red carpet when you get there.
Yeah.
And Maddie's just like, oh, man. And then we get another montage of them going to like some, what's it called? Like some park, right?
Yeah, it's
probably
like a farmer's market kind of, like pre-Halloween,
or like just like what's it called, a carnival, or something like that. Meanwhile, Bradford is like, where the fuck is Rosemary? And then Bradford and Danny kind of have a big talk, and Danny's like, whoa, I thought we were the Three Musketeers, but lo and behold, you guys are, what's it called, barbecuing each other's baby back ribs or something. And he's like, dude, why do you have so many pork analogies? I'm just porking around. But Bradford's like, where the hell is she? And like he goes back to the haunt to check, and Rosemary just left everything alone. And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Right, yeah, like the laundry's like only half done, or it's like started, not finished.
Yeah, so like, they're like, oh, whatever. They're gearing up for the last night. And so, like the girls, they get done with like the park. They're like, for some reason, Maddie's carving the Wi-Fi signal on this pumpkin. And Mika talks to her. She's like, hey, I'm really sorry about being a bitch. And Maddie's like, hey, don't worry about it. It's cool. Like, I get it, But then like Mika gets a text message. She's like, "Hey, tell the coven, a little bit of a craft situation there. Uh, that I'm gonna head first." And so Mika gets to the realm of terror and fucking gets handcuffed to like a gurney. And the masked killer comes out, starts to like freaking chop off her arm.
Right. Yeah.
Meanwhile, this masked killer thinks the whole coast is clear, but Bradford is in the bar in the bowling alley, and he like runs in there, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" But he runs into Danny. I, you know, and Danny's like, "Hey, let's go get a beer, dude." And he's like, "No, what the hell is all that screaming?" It's like, "Ah, it's just me. I'm just fooling around." He's like, "No, that wasn't you. That sounded
Yeah.
like a woman."
That sound like Mika. That's not your not your scream.
Yeah, and he goes in there, sees Mika's hand chopped off, which was her costume.
Yep.
And Danny's like, it's too early, man. And then freaking domes him in the fucking head with a kitchen knife, which is also his costume.
Right.
Oh man, so everyone starts to gear up for like the final night, and Danny is in Bradford's getup.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "What the hell is going on?" And he's like, "Hey guys, like Rosemary and Bradford couldn't be here, but he wanted me to fill in, and so let's just like close out the season strong, and we're just totally gonna fucking kill it. We're gonna give these people what they want, blood and guts." And
right. Right.
Honestly, not a bad.
Bradford always says, "Just have fun," but tonight, I need you guys to kill it.
Yeah. And honestly, like as Bradford when he did his speech at the beginning of the movie, pretty charismatic.
Yeah.
And Danny doesn't do a bad job either. Right? But he's charismatic for different reasons. And so like, they do the opening bit, which is like, Vi and like the other guy, they pick somebody out of the crowd, which is Tall John, who like, the one that's like the non-believer, and they like kind of slit his throat as a like, little gag. But Danny's like coming in super hot. He's like, "I'm gonna try to fucking kill." He's telling this to the crowd. He's like, "I'm gonna try to kill every fucking each one of you guys." Ooh, like he even cuts himself, so everyone's like, "Oh man, this guy's so dedicated." And then he goes, like after like they slash Tall John's neck, he goes up to Tall John and he's like, "Yeah, later, bro," and fucking stabs him in the gut. And like both scarecrow workers, which is Vi and I feel like I don't know what the other guy named Randy. They're like, "Holy shit, dude, that looks so real." But Tall John is like fucking dying.
Yeah, like his face is like what is going on? Is like he doesn't even know if it's real.
Yeah, and so yeah, they start to, but like they like kind of drag him away like they always do. And then Danny tells Vi, he's like, "Hey, no parties today. Everybody's just coming in."
Yeah.
And meanwhile, meanwhile, Jace and Maddie, which is like the first attraction, they switch places.
Right. They're like, "Oh, Bradford's not here to tell us no."
And so like when Danny comes in with the party, he sees like her like chopping, scalping Jace, and he's like, "If you were on the fucking wall, then it wouldn't have been you tonight." We're like,
and
what?
Then,
Yeah.
And as you could tell, like as he's walking through each room, like each of the horror rooms, he's doing the little ketchup dab on each person's like shoulder or whatever.
But I'm like,
marking the victims.
But I'm like, why? What's the difference between on the wall and doing it? Who knows? Maybe it's because it's fake. You know what I mean?
Well, because that would have then she would have been the victim, and he wasn't killing the victims; he was killing the terrorizers. Yeah.
Oh, and I was like, oh, maybe it's because they're faking it. They're out here fake killing people while he's really killing people.
Ooh, right.
Man, because when he takes everybody to the end of the room, he just starts Oh, meanwhile, Randy finds out Tall John is really dead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he goes to V and he's like, no, John is really fucking dead. And so they shut it down. They prevent any more people from going in. V goes in. She starts to tell everybody like, yo, Danny's really fucking killing people. We get to Danny and he just like, whoever, this is why you never really want to be first in line. He fucking kills everybody in that room, where like the room that he takes everybody in is all of his murder victims just like splayed out there like Leatherface. And yeah, and so like we get like a big old like cat and mouse like little chase scene with uh like, I'm so mad because they like closed V out of the room. Dead OnlyFans girl and like a couple patrons, and
Yeah,
so B's stuck kind of like fighting Danny off, and what's it called? Maddie ends up saving her, and then we get like a pretty, another chase scene. Oh man, like Danny ends up using the chainsaw on one of the guys strung up.
right. Yeah, chainsaws through him.
Yeah, and puts his hand through him, which I was like, that's not safe, dude. Broken bone is gonna cut right through your wrist, bro. Uh, and they have like this huge fight, which like it's hard to kind of really in detail describe a fight. You just gotta watch it, right? But they end up able to just kill. Like, it's both. Oh no. So like so Vi kind of gets away from the whole chase scene, but Maddie's getting chased by Danny now, she got slashed in like the calf, and so she runs into the bowling alley and she's screaming for everybody to help her, and everyone thinks it's like a performance.
Right. Yeah, because it's right next door to
Yeah.
the
To the
haunted
haunt.
house on Halloween night.
Yeah, and so everyone's like, oh, and like Danny's playing it off. He's like, oh, everybody cheer. I'm gonna kill
Right.
this girl.
Yeah.
Until V comes up, gets the fucking bowling ball, domes him in the head, and then just Gallagher's him.
Yeah. Double tap.
And everybody's like, holy shit, this is real. Let's get the fuck out of here. And fortunately, like for everybody, Randy also calls the police right away.
Yeah.
And so like so dead cheerleader, OnlyFans girl, V, and Maddie are sitting at the back of an ambulance, and they're like, holy shit, that was fucking terrifying. And then Maddie's like, I'm gonna go to LA. And they're like, right now? She's like, yep. Because after
Wait, aren't you? I thought you were scared. No,
no,
not anymore.
it's like when you take like a privileged kid and show them what hunger really looks like.
Yep.
And like, is there post credits for this?
No.
Okay, and the movie ends right there. Before we get to talk about our thoughts about this movie, let's go to our other section: high star, low star.
Dun-dun. Bum. We got 10 out of 10. Absolutely phenomenal. This was truly an exceptionally made film for the budget. Story, plot, direction, makeup, special effects, all on point. What made this stand out for me is that this is really a horror played out in real life. Forget the naked chick running upstairs after knocking the killer out nonsense. This is portraying real people having real reactions to a killer. I've read other reviews about how it was too much talking, but that's the best bits. The people talking like real life, their reactions totally believable. Honestly, director and writer did a great job. Gave it a 10 out of 10 because of because of what was achieved with such a low budget. Somebody give this guy some studio money.
And then like the lowest I could find actually is a 3 out of 10. And because like there was no 2 out of 10, and the 1 out of 10 wasn't really constructive too much.
Right, this bitch crap. I need to watch it all.
So we got 3 out of 10. Student horror film. I genuinely wanted to enjoy Haunted Season. The trailer promised a solid horror experience within its subgenre, perhaps not groundbreaking, but at least something entertaining. Sadly, the film itself turned out to be a letdown. Poor directing, cringeworthy dialogue, and acting straight out of a high school drama class completely sank any hopes I had. Admittedly, the cinematography was decent at least. Someone on set seemed to know which direction to point the camera. Initially, I suspected this was an earnest attempt by recent film grads, so I was prepared to overlook some rookie mistakes. Imagine my surprise when I discovered the director is in his 40s with 20 years of filmmaking experience behind him. If this is his best after 2 decades, perhaps a career change should be considered. Ultimately, Haunted Season isn't frightening or engaging, it's just disappointing. Save yourself the trouble and find a film made by someone who still enjoys making movies. Uh, I feel like that's a little unfair.
Yeah.
You know, because I can't really with the budget that this movie had. I think it was like pretty decent. Like it didn't like. I mean, I wasn't coming into this movie with too like high hopes, cause I was just like, all right, this movie's just gonna be like it's gonna be campy, and I feel like that's what it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was low budget. It was a little silly. But yeah, kind of like the review that I had. It was like I liked that you got to meet everybody and you got to know some people.
Yeah.
So that like you cared when.
Yeah.
And then it was actually a little bit of a surprise that Danny was the killer. Like you didn't expect that at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was interesting that, like, I don't know if I've really seen a movie take advantage of this, but since it was in a haunted house,
Yeah.
Almost every time you saw him, he was in some different person's costume.
Yeah.
He was a pumpkin head, and then he was like the guy with like the metal spikes, and then he was like the scarecrow. So that was kind of interesting because then you didn't even know from what costume you saw if that was the killer or if that was just somebody walking around.
Yeah, and they try to divert your attention to the guy that was like, well, I could chase people with a fake chainsaw or a real one. And I was like, you're not the killer. Like Danny, I had my doubts about him, but I think it's because of the whole Jamie Kennedy kind of character that he was playing. Like from Scream. That it was like, oh, maybe that's also just like a little trick that they're trying to get me with.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been really interesting if it was one of the girls.
Right.
I think that would have been a lot of fun. Also, just like, okay, hear me out on this. It might have been like, a little ambitious. Because this movie does have its flaws. Like, don't think I'm like giving it a pass just because it's low budget. I mean, it had some flaws, but like you said, it was great that we were able to kind of care about each character. You liked V because she was so upbeat about everything and like, trying to mend fences and all that stuff. You understood Mika, who was like not ready to get over her like season crush and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the motivation for the killing was pretty shallow.
You're right. They could have explained it a little more or elaborated on it, like made it a little more. But it's almost one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe this does well enough that they make a part 2, and then you'll get a further explanation, and somebody who he didn't kill was actually like partnered up with him, and
the real mastermind.
We'll continue the.
No, see, so this is where I wanted it to go. Right, I was like, all right, you're doing this. It seems pretty shallow until he because then when what's it called? Until he dies. Because then it's like, all right, he has to, and then something supernatural actually happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
That I think that would have all right, we're gonna be campy, so let's just fucking turn it up to 11 and actually summon something to
Right,
justify
and they
it.
could have been like, they'd be like, oh, his death was the 13th death and that
Yeah.
brought
Yeah,
something
some
else.
yeah, some fucking Beelzebub or some shit like that. Some fucking demon that is like because like the thing about this is like it's not anything revolutionary, like you kind of you might have been able to kind of go off of like, yeah, there was actually a dead body found in a haunted house one time, uh but
Right.
but there's like the houses that October built, which is like dealing with like these haunted attractions, and there's also Hell House,
Right. Yeah.
which is like has garnered like what, like I think 5 sequels or 4 sequels or something like that.
I was gonna say it's got at least a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of like, you kind of like, listen, the budget's already big. Like if you summon this demon, you don't even have to show it. You just show the silhouette, and then you find a voice actor who has like either like a deep, like deep accent, a deep voice, or like British or something like that, because for
Right.
some reason demons are always British. I mean, they are demons, but yeah, I think that would have made it like so much more fun, because it's like, all right, we're campy, let's just go full on summer camp.
Right. Like you said, like it almost didn't have wouldn't have to do anything. It could have just been like a disembodied voice,
Yeah.
and then like wait till next Halloween, and then like kind of ends like
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's all this movie needed to end. Like that's all this movie needed to really like just put the cherry on top. And then
yeah.
to make his motivations a little bit more like, oh yeah, Danny was getting into like, he was buying up grimoires on eBay. They do like, it's like a full police report, like, yeah, we went to this dude's house. This guy's got dead chickens all over his property. You know what I mean? I think that, is there anything that you're like, oh, this movie could have used it, or
I don't know. I really like I kind of enjoyed it. Like you said, like I felt like there should have been a little something at the end, like a little wink, wink,
yeah,
to like to set it up. Yeah, at least give yourself the option of making a part two. Get people
exactly.
get people thinking, oh, was there gonna be
Was he actually summoning something? Because he was so into like just
marking?
old, yeah,
Yeah, because he made a very like even when he got stabbed, he was like, oh, you gotta mark me. I can't die if I'm not marked.
exactly. Because he was so into like the whole old school like Samhain rituals and all that stuff, and then
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god, this guy was a descendant of a witch from Salem. Sir, I think they call those warlocks. Like, all right, whatever, man. Man witch. And he's like, oh, I could actually go for a man witch right now.
I was trying to read up, find out like information because I was not familiar with any of these actors or
Yeah,
actresses, and most of them are
yeah.
have very minimal careers. But interestingly, in the original, when they originally filmed it, they there is a lot more nudity.
Oh,
Like you see full frontal Jace. There's more boobs in the with the um,
oh, the OnlyFans girl.
OnlyFans girl. But then when they were like, oh, we're gonna go to streaming, maybe we should cut that back a little so that
That's the perfect
more
place.
more platforms
Take it.
will be willing to show us. So there
Oh,
may be an uncut director's cut,
version
unrated
of the.
version that gets released at some point.
Because in my head, I was like, you know what this movie needs? More nudity. More nudity and one sex scene. To just make it like a true 80s, like, friggin',
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But, we want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our other months down below, where we have the past other Spooktober months down there. Also, Christmas, which is like the two most important American holidays seasons. But yeah, we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have streaming, DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at for this one?
Um, this was fun. I really enjoyed for being what it was. I think that they've got potential to to really kind of branch off and do something, a sequel, something with this.
Yeah.
Or maybe the curse that follows.
Oh yeah, Danny around. He becomes a real ghoul.
Right. Yeah. Unless Blu-ray comes with the nudie scenes, I think probably just DVD. But yeah, like if this ends up coming out and getting a couple 3 like sequels, I'd definitely box set this.
Yeah.
Whether or not that they go campier or try to get more serious.
No, they gotta go full camp. Like, you just gotta go full camp. Yeah, because it would have been cool. Like, oh, Danny was also a part of a network of like haunt actors that want to, really do them.
Right. Yeah. He was on Reddit forums or
or the
Discord trying to get people to.
No, this is dark web, bro.
Infiltrate
exactly
haunted houses across the country.
Yeah, because they could have done that. They could have done a whole dark web that like Danny set up the whole stream, so like everybody could see him kill people for real. That's another route you could have went. And then it's like an American pandemic. Right. Haunt serial killers. Yeah, I'll probably go DVD as well. I mean, this movie's fun. It's fun to put on like a Christmas, not Christmas rotation, Halloween rotation of just like random movies you just watch during Halloween.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Get you in the spirit of things. Like it's funny because in like one of the conversations, Rosemary's like, "This is getting kind of collegey," and like that's like another. It's like a little. It's really nothing, but like you can definitely, the older you are, the more you can kind of resonate with that, where you've like noticed some places that you're like, oh, I have to leave this place. I'm getting like stunted here.
Right.
And I gotta go somewhere and grow. And,
yeah. Either I am this person forever, or I'm gonna grow up but then I can't be here.
Yeah, I can't do that. So like, it's not really like a thing, but it
was kind of really interesting. They had a really super short conversation with Tall John, and he was they're like, how long have you been doing this? He's like, I've been doing this a bunch of years. Yeah. I'm like a tax accountant or something.
Oh, he's like a data analyst or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like, but I enjoy this, so like I use my vacation time to come down here for the few weeks before Halloween just so I could.
Yeah, he makes good money because he has like a vacation home.
Right.
It's like, and it's right by the river.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, but and like it's cool. We can hang out at work.
Right. And he's like, I don't care if you guys have a party at my house, but I'm like the old guy. It's weird for me to hang out with all like you youngsters at a party.
And like Tall John's not like that much older, but he's probably like mid-30s.
Right. Yeah.
Like I felt like the same. Like I had like at one point I had like a couple of young kids under me, and they're like talking about like, oh yeah, we're gonna like hang out at my house, at my parents' house, in a pool party, and like they looked at me while they were talking about it, and I'm like, you don't have to invite me if that's what you're looking at me for. That would be fucking weird if I was there.
I'm gonna come hang with you, but I'm the same age as your parents.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was like, I did think about that because one of the girls' moms is like really hot. And she was like, yeah. I think one time her mom had come to work, and I was like, hi. And she's like, Mom, go. You have to leave. We had like pretty decent, flirty banter, but she's like, nope, you gotta go, Mom. Bye, Mom. Bye. Oh no, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our social media links down below.
Yeah, we got our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. Oh man, I think it's the first time I got them all like in like a row
Yeah,
without
exactly.
stumbling. Yes.
Oh
Only
man.
300 episodes in, and I finally got it down.
Oh man, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out this theme music, it's Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and the Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.
All right.